My name's Haley O'Halloran, and as a mentally ill student, I've experienced disrespect by teachers, and I wanted to see through this documentary if other people had experienced the same thing as I had. Through this, I also want to shed light on the guidance team and the learning resources team and the social worker and all the work they do. Oakville Trafalgar High School is regarded as one of the top schools in Ontario. I think it's ranked at number 4. If this is happening here, what's happening everywhere else?
I've been diagnosed with depression and anxiety disorder, so like general anxiety disorder, and I get panic attacks.
I suffer from short-term memory loss and working memory loss.
I suffer from anxiety, offshoots of anxiety like OCD, disassociation, panic disorder, and depression, as well as memory issues.
I was diagnosed with severe migraines.
So I have severe stress disorder. I suffer from, what's it called? It's like you get depressed, but not all the time. It's like on and off, kind of like seasonal. Yeah, kind of like that. And then I have dyslexia and borderline ADHD. I have been mistreated by teachers here. Just them saying, you know, you can get through whatever you're feeling. If I say I'm uncomfortable in a situation, they just dismiss it. I've had a couple situations where that has happened.
Like again with the anxiety thing, so many people have it like in these days. So I think they just think, oh yeah, well everyone has it. That's just high school. That's common, but not everyone gets it to certain degrees. Like some people, they freak out. I know teachers definitely just like said to me, oh well, you need to work on your note taking. Oh, you need to like learn better study habits. And like I take good notes. I study as best of my ability, but memorization doesn't always work for me. I've had teachers get like really frustrated because they'll be trying to teach me something, and like if it's like a step-by-step thing, like sometimes math or like science, they'll just be like, okay, why are you not getting the first step? And I'd forget the first step by the third step. So
I would say that I've been mistreated by a lot of teachers at this school. In grade 10, I was forced to do a lot of presentations, and in grade 9, despite having an IEP. And grade 10 is also when I realized that teachers don't really look at your IEP unless you force them to. Like, you have to email them and tell them about it on the first day, or else it'll take them probably weeks to look at it. In grade 11 media class, I remember my teacher didn't read my IEP, and I had a panic attack on the first day just doing one of those icebreaker things, because anything can trigger it. So ever since then, I've had to email all of my teachers on the first day of school, telling them what my symptoms are, accommodations I need, everything like that.
I was in class and I kind of started feeling something was going on, and it started, like I said, it started with my hand, and my hands were going numb, then my legs. I stopped, couldn't really walk, and so I went up to my teacher saying I need to get out, and she kind of looked at me, and I remember her saying, "Is this gonna happen every day? Because if so, you need to switch out of my class." And so I went home, and on my walk home, I remember I was crying on my walk home, but I now have anxiety over that. Like, you can just see me like twitching or flicking my fingers just to make sure nothing's happening. There's some people that are still ignorant about that, and sure, someone is depressed, and then someone has anxiety, and then there's other different mental illnesses. They only have one specific thing, and they just think if you just tuck her through it or whatever, just be a trooper and just keep going, it will go away, but it doesn't. And everyone's different, especially how they handle it and how they cope with it. So that's where I feel like people are ignorant about it, because they don't even care to try to learn or get more information about it.
Some teachers take it very They just don't get it, so like they think you're not putting an effort, or they just like completely like give you bad marks because they think that you're not trying, or like it's your fault, or you just didn't put in the work, but like you did. Grade 9, I had a teacher not help me with my exam, which caused me to fail my exam because I couldn't read the exam. You have other teachers which are just like, you know what, they have an IEP, great, but they should know how to do this stuff, and they're just kind of like blowing it off more.
I think that as long as the teachers try more to understand their students and make sure that their students are getting the accommodations they need and just checking up on them, making sure that they're comfortable, and just doing whatever they can, I think you can never have too much of that, so just more of that would be good.
They could have a mental health club, and you could kind of just go, and it was like super private, have teachers come and they could just try to work on stuff with you. I know that some people, like, they'll want to go to the school guidance counselor, and it's just booked up for so long that people, they get farther and farther down their struggles.
I think the staff here should be more forceful with IEPs when teachers get them. Make them read them, make it mandatory to read them on the first day, and make sure that the teachers are aware of the accommodations that each student needs. Check up on the teachers and how they're doing with their job, and check up on the students, or make sure the teachers are checking up on their students, things like that. I also think there should be more staff in the guidance departments, because extra support is always a good thing, and I find that the guidance departments are often very booked up, and or just more people there to train the teachers, or more PA days dedicated to mental health awareness.
This should like be a workshop, because like I said, there's like not that many students want to talk about it, and so they should know how to handle it, and they should know different types of illnesses, because I feel like that would also not make the students feel more comfortable in the classroom, but it'll also make them stronger as a teacher.
There's a class there's a union for disabled kids and like learning disabilities in school boards, and I know they do classes for like schools where the teachers can come in and learn different ways to better help the kids or understand it better. So I think if the school had like that going on in the summer, or like a course that the teachers could go and actually learn more about it so they can better help their students, I think it would give them better understanding.
Maybe because I have more of a one-on-one relationship with a lot of students, and when I help them, I think I try to help them, and then they are very appreciative of that, and so are their parents. Some teachers are very understanding and quite compassionate. Some teachers don't really seem to entirely understand. The average teacher doesn't get any formal training in anything to do with mental health. Sometimes there are some students who will say that a particular teacher doesn't really seem to understand the issues that they're going through. Just know that we in guidance have the resources to help you, and if we can't help you ourselves, then we certainly can try to link you to some outside agencies and organizations that can help you. Make sure you come for help.
My best advice, if you have one contact adult who's willing to be your advocate in the building, that's huge. For most teachers, they're very unfamiliar with mental health issues, and often very uncomfortable talking about it, and are really unsure what to do that's the most helpful. I don't think you can ever have too many resources and too many supports, and I think there's a real lack of training in the system around mental health especially. I think sometimes there's a lack of empathy on the part of teachers. We're spread very thin. There are 230 students in the building with an IEP for, again, a whole host of reasons, and we're sort of the safety net for all of them. So there are days when I know we all feel like we're spread very thin, or we're being asked to be experts in things that we've had 5 minutes of Google training on. Students are not trying to weasel out of doing things. Sometimes they just legitimately can't do what you're asking them to do, and it's not always visible, the reasons why they can't.